Brazil's total tax burden is among the highest in Latin America. The latest available government data shows taxes accounting for 33.5% of the country's GDP, a burden that makes life tougher for businesses like this restaurant in São Paulo. The owner, also a director at the city's Restaurants Association, says entrepreneurs feel they pay too much for too little.
Difícil. É muito caro e pouco retorno.
It's hard. We pay a lot and we don't feel things are returning to us. It's hard to find qualified workers. There's not good health care for them. And if entrepreneurs paid less taxes, we would have more money to invest in new restaurants.
The final draft of a tax reform bill was presented last week in Parliament.
Hoje acho que é dia histórico.
This is an historic day. I am convinced this reform will be successful. When it's enacted, it will create a new environment. We will have an ecosystem which will be favourable to new investments, both domestic and foreign.
Negotiations have begun on details which will actually determine the taxes levied on each sector. But the general idea is increasing taxes on consumption and lighten the burden on lower income groups. The problem here in Brazil is not just the tax burden itself, but the number of labor hours companies must devote to complete the paperwork required under the country's very complicated system. World Bank data shows Brazilians spend more time on preparing and paying taxes than people in any other country, more than 1,500 hours annually. That's more than 5 times the world average. Hopes are the reform may help reduce that.
A gente tem 5 tributos.
Nowadays we have 5 different taxes on consumption. With the reform, we'll have 2, one at the national level and a second one at state and municipal levels. So, with this, we'll have a significant reduction in the system's complexity.
There's a near consensus in Brazil that reforming the country's tax system has been long overdue. Getting stakeholders to agree on a new system, however, has been challenging, and there is no guarantee that this new attempt will succeed. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.